Hey everyone, it's Argonaut here from Return of the Fan, and I'm sure you've all heard about the goings on at the Oscars, but I thought it might be a useful thing to have a look at the ratings for the Oscars. So this is from the Hollywood Reporter. Don't you just love their headline? TV ratings, Oscar ratings rise by 60% from last year's low. Oh much, such a massive rise, 60% rise. But it still trails previous years by a sizable margin. So basically it is still the second worst ratings ever, because last year it was the absolute worst ever. So they've managed to come back a bit from the worst ever, but it was still the second worst ever, and it hasn't gone back to the heights of when the Oscars were actually relevant. Don't you just love the host that they chose? Amy Schumer, white middle-aged woman. Wanda Sykes, black old woman. Regina Hall, black middle-aged woman. So you can see the identity politics going in already because of who they've chosen. So basically there's a 67% black representation in the hosts with 33% white, 100% female representation in the hosts, 0% men. So you just know what the Oscars are going to be like there as well. Why can't you have representation? Maybe a white female, maybe a black man, maybe a white man as well, just to add a bit of variety there. But no, 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 got to be all women, two black women and one white woman, just to get that representation in there. Although it doesn't really represent the racial percentages in the population, does it? So let's have a look. The 94th Academy Awards drew a bigger audience than they did in last year's least watched Oscars ceremony ever. Sunday's show, however, is still well below past years, if both TV viewing and movie going have gone through radical changes recently. ABC's broadcast of the Oscars drew 16.62 million viewers and a 3.76 rating among adults 18 to 49 in the final same-day ratings, which include out-of-home viewing. Earlier figures, which didn't include out-of-home, had the show at 15.36. So let's take be generous and take the 16.62 million viewers. Sunday's show finished well ahead of the final numbers from last year's scale-down ceremony, which had all-time lows of 10.4 million. The Oscars improved by 60%. And 77% among adults 18 to 49. What a massive jump that was. But still, none have reached anywhere near the heights of pre-pandemic viewing. The Emmys and SAG Awards both had sizable gains over the last outings, but they were all lower as well. Despite the year-to-year improvements, though, Sunday's Oscars will go down as the second least watched since the Nielsen began tracking total viewers in the mid-70s. Prior to last year, the audience had never fallen below 20 million viewers, so it's gone below 20 million twice now, last year and this year. Of course, it generated huge reaction on social media, but that doesn't equate to actual ratings, because that occurred 2/3 of the way through the ceremony. So basically they'd already been with the show for 2.5 hours anyway. So basically that didn't have any effect on the ratings at all. Now it might have an effect on next year's ratings, because maybe people will tune in to see if there's more violence going on the stage. But you can bet there won't be, because there's been such a backlash, and the Academy just look absolute idiots that I'm sure they're not going to allow anything like that to happen again. But you can bet that the ratings might go up a little bit as well. So that's about it for the ratings. We can see that, yep, it went up from last year, because last year was absolutely terrible. It was horrific. So it was slightly better this year, but it was still really poor. In my opinion, the reason why is that because none of the movies for any of the big categories are anything that anyone has actually ever come across. Like Coda, never heard of that before. Power of the Dog, which is an actual dog shit movie. Why would anyone want to watch that crap? What were the other ones? I can't even remember the other ones. The only one I can remember is Dune, because Dune I thought was absolutely fantastic, and I thought should win the best Oscar, the best movie Oscar. But of course it won't, because it doesn't have any representation in it, right? Coda is about a deaf person. and Power of the Dog is about homosexuality in the Wild West. So of course, any of those two movies are probably going to get it because of their representation. Whereas June, which is just a great movie, it has representation in terms of actors and so on, but they don't go talk about all of that stuff in the movie or going on about it through the actors or anything like that. But because it doesn't follow the narrative that these other movies do, it'll never get chosen. And so no wonder people don't want to watch the Oscars, because no one gives a crap about anything in the Oscars, because it doesn't have any movies that people are interested in. Yes, they did have Spider-Man No Way Home, but they were in the very minor categories like best CGI or best costume design, all that kind of stuff, which people aren't that really interested in. So until you start to make the Oscars more about popular movies and not just about for the Hollywood elite, then of course you're never going to get those huge audiences that you used to get beforehand. Anyway, just thought it'd be interesting to see what the ratings were. So it did go up from last year, but last year was absolutely terrible. And so it will be interesting to see what happens next year after the slap that happened during the Oscars ceremony. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comment section. Did you watch the Oscars? I'd love to know. Don't be shy to admit it, which is perfectly fine. Or if you're like me, you didn't bother watching the Oscars and then just learnt up about what happened afterwards. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you don't like the video, you're welcome to give it a thumbs down. And if you like my content, please subscribe as well. Hopefully I'll catch you in the next video.